Well, well, another day, another boomer shooter that's being ignored. This is Herald of Havoc. It was recommended to me in the comments of a previous video and mentioned in the CD-ROM Fossil Discord. Havoc left early access in June of 23 and has gotten updates here and there since then. It was created by a sole developer, which is always impressive to see. As of now, this is their only game on Steam. So what about Havoc? What kind of game is it? Well, you're watching a boomer shooter review, so you could pretty much expect that it's classic rip and tearing action. Big guns, big dudes, a hard-hitting OST. Everything here is what you would expect from the genre. I do have some criticisms, but first let's start with the best part. These weapons are all incredible. At the start, you got an infinite ammo pistol and a sword. Both weapons teach the player about the secondary fire. Most weapons have a secondary fire, which serves a different purpose from the primary. Some secondary fires straight transform the weapon into something else, like the chain minigun gets turned into a dynamite thrower. There is this shock rifle that when fired, it does a chain lightning attack. It'll hit one dude and spread to nearby enemies. However, the secondary fire, oh my god. It has to recharge in between these lightning bolts of destruction, and this leads to some intense moments of trying to dodge and weave before ending the lives of an entire battalion of enemies. Even without the overpowered secondary fires, a lot of these weapons are just cool and sometimes just weird in like a fun way. What if I told you the pump action shotgun is this game's sniper rifle? Yeah, zoom in and shoot at dudes across the map. But then there's a chain shotgun, which absolutely tears through everything. All these guns are wild and get even crazier when you get the dual-wielding power-up, and suddenly nothing can stop the walking war crime machine you become. What elevates this carnage even more is the sound design. Turning massive amounts of enemies into bloody blobs has such a satisfying soundscape. I have plenty of examples to play. Here's one of them. About the only disappointing aspect of the weapons is the fact that when you finish a level, you start the next one with just the sword and pistol. So when you find a cool gun you want to use more, you gotta hope it's going to crop up again. I find this to be a kind of weird design choice, but I imagine it's a way to balance the game or encourage exploration. I don't know. There are only a few ammo types, and multiple weapons use the same ammo type, so I guess removing the weapons at the start allow the dev to kind of control what gun you have during each encounter. If I kept the auto shotgun the whole game, I would never use the sniper shotgun, and there would have been plenty of sections that would have been way easier if I had it the whole time. So I don't think the loss of weapons is a bad thing retroactively looking at it, but in the moment it was a tad jarring in, a little weird. As for the player character, the movement is speedy, making it really easy to circle strafe. Mix this with the cool weapons and you have a recipe for some really satisfying combat, just shredding through dudes while zooming across the map, most of the time. Havoc's level design is kind of a mixed bag. Some levels are really well done with many set pieces and arenas. There's times where you enter a room and you know some stuff is about to go down. The chaos has its place with structures or objects the player can use to hide from attacks. Then you'll get a really small, tight room with enemies constantly spawning with really nowhere to hide or dodge. It just becomes a game of who can kill who the quickest. But while Havoc's level design is mixed, I can say Episode 2 is an absolute banger. All killer, no filler. You see, Herald of Havoc is 3 episodes long. The first one, I will not lie, was insanely forgettable. Majority of the colors are what I'm going to call corporate. A lot of gray and brown. The only level I remember right away is this town you get to. And I think, honestly, it's because there's this vibrant blue tint. It just instantly sticks out. It's like, whoa, it's blue. This level's also empty at first with just skeletons walking around. And then the enemies slowly begin to populate, increasing the intensity of the mission. Compared to the rest of Episode 1, this is the only level that I think sets Havoc apart from other games in terms of design. I wasn't going to be so hard on level design originally in this video because, I mean, this is a great game. But then, like, Episode 2 happens, and as I said before, Episode 2 is awesome. It's amazing. There's such varied level design. Like, yes, you got your corporate levels, but it's fine because in episode 2, it's sprinkled in. You got an ice level, a desert, a forest. There's all kinds of areas just to explore and see. It's so diverse. I enjoyed every single second of episode 2. It was amazing, which hyped me up for episode 3. So when episode 3 started, all right, okay, first level, it's a bit of a maze. Then there's a level where you're left with just a sword and pistol trying to kill big enemies in a tight space with nowhere to hide. And then I'm like, whoa, what happened? When I got to the town from episode 1 again, things were all weird and not normal. Then blood fills the streets. I was like, oh, okay, episode 3, we're picking up now. It's very eerie and surreal. I mean, I'm wandering around thinking, what's about to jump out and scare me? But then it just ends. Like there was nothing to do in this one. Like you're picking up what is usually like a little health or armor pickups, and you're just getting these dots on your screen. I thought something was going to come out and spook me. I mean, it was very surreal. I mean, look at it. You're walking around and falling through holes and stuff. It's very weird. But that's the whole level. So I thought, all right, what's next? Well, that was the second to last level. So when you finish it, you're taken to the final boss. And this fight is honestly the most disappointing part. You start with the previously mentioned shock rifle, and while this is probably my favorite weapon in the game, I love it for its crowd control capabilities. It eliminates masses of enemies. It's also great for delivering a finishing blow to a more spongy enemy. But here, you're using it against one guy, and it boils down to waiting for each recharge of the secondary fire and dodging each attack. You do get a chain gun eventually, but it becomes a game of can you kill him before he kills you, because he's taking the ground out from below you, which leads to like poison. So you have to keep your cursor on him and keep firing and hope you don't miss or anything and hope you have enough health to kind of endure the little bit you'll be in the poison. I mean, that's it, man. That's the final boss. That's the end. And I was just thinking, man, what? Now, this sounds like I wouldn't recommend this, and that's not the case. No. This game's great. I 100% recommend this to all the boomer shooter fans out there, as the combat is massively satisfying. I point out episode 1 and 3's forgetfulness as, well, it's the only thing holding this game back. I don't want to end on a bad note, so let's finish off with some more awesome aspects of Havoc. There is an endless mode. You got 3 normal levels and 1 experimental one. Each level is honestly fantastic and very addicting. My favorite is the Black Fortress, as you have to save up energy cells to open up more sections of the level. There's one that takes you to a room overlooking the whole stage. There's even chests that pop out random weapons. Unlocking doors? Random weapon chests? Overlooking the whole room thing? Dude, this is Kino der Toten from Black Ops Zombies. It's amazing. I love this stage. It also kind of reminds me of Cyberpunk, if you've ever played that. If you haven't, I might review that one next, assuming I don't hit 2,000 subscribers, because I haven't started working on Aiden Chronicles yet. Anyway, back to Havoc. The experimental level is a bridge, and if you get the shock rifle, well, goodbye, everyone. The endless mode is honestly a nice addition to the game, as it adds a lot more replayability. So not only do you have the campaign, but you have a way to just kind of kill some time. It's very pick up and play. Lastly, Havoc has a pretty nice community. I joined their Discord, asked a few questions, and they're all very quick to offer some assistance and answers. I mean, I didn't go digging into this Discord. I've only been in it for a few days. So this is judging off brief interactions, but hey, first impressions, these are some cool dudes. They do have a small speedrunning scene, and they were talking to me about how they like speedrunning Havoc. And I did notice that one achievement was tied to completing the first mission in under 30 seconds. So I thought, let's try this. I've only speedrun one game, and it was Dishonored 1, so I'm not experienced in identifying what makes a good game a speedrunning game. However, I could see Havoc being a good contender. When I was getting the achievement to finish the first mission in under 30 seconds, even on the easiest difficulty, it took me a few tries, which shows me that this could be a challenging game to speedrun. I could see Havoc being a good contender for the speedrunning community, especially in episode 2, where a lot of doors will not open until certain enemies are dead. So you would have to kind of optimize how you could kill enemies. Like, you couldn't just avoid all the weapons and run to the exit. I could see the final boss being a test of consistency, as missing like one shot of the shock rifle's secondary fire would probably be a run-ender. I can't wait to see what the dev has else in store for the future. I do recommend Herald of Havoc to everyone, as it's a good game despite its forgettable moments. I finished the campaign, played all 4 endless modes, and did some light achievement hunting to a grand total of 3.2 hours. It's a short game, but it doesn't waste your time. However, I'm not sure it's worth the full price of $18.99 as it is currently, Carnal is just as short, if not shorter, and it's only 99 cents. Zorch is roughly the same length, and it's $4.99. There's more examples, but those are only 2 modern boomer shooters I covered on the channel, so you can go back and watch those videos and kind of compare. According to my Steam account info, I spent $7 on Havoc during a sale in 2023. Now, I will say for $7, it is indeed worth it. So I'd say slap this bad boy on your wish list and wait for a sale. Well, that's the review. Thank you so much for watching. I feel like I need to do these boomer shooter videos a little more often as more and more are being ignored. Let me know in the comments what you think of Herald of Havoc, and also let me know what other hidden boomer shooters I should review. But until then, I'll see you in the next episode of whatever that may be, whether it's Cyberhunk or I finally get around to working on the 2000 sub special, Aiden Chronicles. But yeah, see you then.